On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Hello, Tampa, Florida.
Oh my God!
We just ran down a ton of stairs right now. I'm fucking winded. How's everyone feeling tonight?
We are so excited to be here. Florida has been really good to us so far.
It has. We've been here for about 24 hours. Nothing horrific has happened yet. I did drink a ton of cold brew and then take a Xanax, so we're going to see what comes through tonight.
I drank a ton of White Claw and had no sleep.
We were on tour for a lot of the beginning of this year. They didn't put Florida on the list. And
I know.
They were like...
Onesies a little.
Yeah. I know, riding up a little bit.
Okay.
They were like, nobody wants to see you in Florida. And we said, we think they might. And look, some of you came. Some of you came.
Wow. We are so excited to be here.
We are so excited. As you can see, well, by a show of hands, how many of you got dragged here tonight? You have no idea what... Yeah, okay, a few too many. We'll put some of those down.
Too many, oh my God.
Too many. Well, you can see we are beloved by many.
We just get the best reviews.
We do.
Everybody just loves us, as you can see.
As you can tell.
There's a 2-star right there. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's the best one up there. We love you guys. So we're really excited because we have a bitch in Halloween
A
tonight.
bitch in Halloween.
And we're going to be taking you guys on a tour this evening.
Just for you, Florida.
Just for you.
We are going to the Obituary Haunted Mansion.
Ooh.
Now, we went through, on our tour, we went through the Obituary Funeral Home. But we thought, Florida, we got to bring you to our home.
Yes,
so
we're taking you home. But before we do, we've got some house rules to go over.
Oh, my God, we've got house rules.
The first being that if you're going to shout insults at us, please be very clear about who you're insulting. As we mentioned, we were on tour earlier this year, and we had a little situation arise where we were in Salt Lake City, and we thought there of all places, I mean.
Beautiful.
Beautiful people. Everyone's Mormon, so many
lots of wives,
so many children. And we're like, everyone is so, this really is fucking riding up here.
I know.
We're like, everyone is so polite here.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. There she goes.
Oh, my God, those are my notes.
Watch your ankles. It's a miracle, by the way. Can we give it up for Madison for making it to the stage in these clown shoes?
Hold on. Okay, we're good.
Logging in.
Okay, wait.
No, but we were in Salt Lake City, and we finished our show there, and we were walking back to our hotel through downtown, because that's how fucking safe it is. You could just walk through the downtown there. And there was this man on the sidewalk who yelled something out at us.
He yelled something out at us. I heard an F slur, and so I looked at Spencer, and I was like, are you okay?
She thought he called me a faggot. But
he did. I swear I heard it.
Well, I heard something different. So I was looking at Madison like, oh.
Onesies.
Did you hear that?
He thought that the guy called me a fat ass.
It did.
So
We don't know who got insulted, but it was
we were
one of us.
both looking at each other like, oh, so
Poor
sorry.
thing.
So please be clear, okay?
Yes,
we want to
please be
know who
clear.
you're talking to, okay? And also, if you're offended by any of the following,
Penises,
vaginas,
faggots,
oh, fat asses,
dead bodies,
undead bodies,
moida.
cannibalism,
Now's probably the time to go.
probably the time to go.
We're not for the lighthearted. If whoever brought you here didn't warn you, you're going to see a lot tonight.
A lot. And please, for the love of God, don't record us because we look terrible under this lighting and we're in
Yes.
onesies, so please.
And should you decide to enter our haunted mansion and find yourself gagging, not in the good way, then we invite you to utilize your obituary barf bags that we've set
Yes.
out.
They are exclusive.
Uh-huh.
Only 4 easy payments of $19.95. But don't worry, we already put it on your tabs.
We did.
So
You're being
fine.
charged for them. And if you ignore any of our rules, then you will be deemed an asshole.
An asshole.
This evening, you can tell we've traded in our gavels for our clown horns. Okay.
Ready?
Good to go. So we were switching these up on tour a lot because it's one of my favorite segments to switch up on Madison. And I have a special one for this evening.
Okay.
It's not related to death or Halloween or anything really, but I just read it and I was horrified and I wanted to read it. So it says, am I the asshole for making my girlfriend pay to sleep over?
Oh, okay.
It says, I, 28 male, have been with my girlfriend, 22, for about a year now, and things have been going really well up until recently. We live in separate apartments, and we're spending about 1 night a week together at my place, but recently it turned into about 3 nights a week. Now, don't get me wrong, I love having my girlfriend sleep over, and I could even see us living together one day. However, when I asked her to start paying $24 for each night she stays over, she got really upset. I explained that all of my utility bills have gone up significantly since she started staying over.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And $24 for 1 night in an $1,800 a month apartment is a great deal. Heck, I wish I got to live in my apartment for that little.
Oh, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
I hate him.
Clear as day. I think everyone here agrees. Yeah, he's the asshole.
Clear as day.
Okay.
So
He's the
instead of our
clown.
he's a fucking clown.
Okay, now that I feel like we can trust your guys' judgment a little bit, we can make our way in. Well, some of you. I saw someone like, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to start charging. We can make our way inside. We put together this show a while ago, so this is as much of a surprise to us as it is to you. Behind door number 1.
Oh. Ooh, the
Ooh.
wet room.
The wet room.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to kick us off with this girly right here. You do have barf bags, so you can use them. This photo is of a frozen mummy, one of many that were found in the 1980s. This frozen mummy was actually one of the sailors aboard the HMS Erebus and the HMS Terror. These were 2 ships that set sail from England to discover the Northwest Passage in 1845, but they vanished for over 140 years until the 1980s when they were found frozen solid. So what happened?
She's coming up from the floor. I just felt
no.
her. She's coming.
So what happened was that the ships got stuck in ice, and so crews were trapped in the ice. They also faced lead poisoning, which happened because they were eating a bunch of canned food, and then they even resorted to cannibalism. But the freezing temperatures just perfectly preserved a lot of these sailors' bodies. There's our girly right there.
There she is.
Frozen solid.
She looks like the lady that asked me for a cigarette over there earlier. Hey! Well, I need a little round of applause for these bad boys here.
Woo!
We talk, you listen. I love it. I love this story. So, in early 2018, this fisherman goes to this small island in Siberia and he notices, well, the snow's waving back at him. He starts, okay, so he sees like one severed hand just ominously in the snow. And as if that's not terrible enough, he keeps walking. And then in total, he stumbles upon this bag with 54 severed human hands, all had been severed at the wrist. And he reports it, obviously, because, I mean, that's what you fucking do. And the government was like, don't worry about it. They were like, it's really common for the forensic labs in Russia to use these severed hands to gather fingerprint information after somebody has died. So the authorities basically tell him, like, they must have just been improperly disposed of.
Oh, okay, that's all.
That's it.
Well, you gotta hand it to him.
Gotta hand it to him.
Well, I think now's the perfect time to meet our ancient celebrity, a 70-year-old mummy. She was a top-ranking lady of the Ming Dynasty.
I can tell.
There's her beautiful hand. She was discovered in 2011 when road workers were expanding a road in China. While digging about 6.5 feet under the road's surface, they found 2 wooden tombs. These tombs date back to the 1300s, and inside one of them was our mummy just chilling in brown liquid, a lot like Lady Di. If you guys remember Lady Di, she was in that brown liquid. There it is.
I cannot tell a thing.
Now, she was so beautifully preserved. Her shoes, her clothing, her jewelry were all intact. She still had eyebrows, and they knew that she was from the Ming Dynasty because she was wearing traditional Ming Dynasty costume made of silk and cotton, which all survived hundreds of years under this road in that brown liquid.
That brown liquid.
That brown liquid. The brown liquid makes me go fucking crazy, but it preserves people, I guess.
That was funny.
Brown liquor.
That brown liquor. I'm going to take us out of the wet room with the Holland man, who I love. Where is he? There he is. This is the mummified corpse of a man who passed away sometime around 405 BC. He was found in 1950, preserved as a bog body, which we've talked about before. But my favorite thing is in all the articles talking about him, they're like, with his closed eyes and his faint smile, which I don't really see that, but they were like, he was probably a human sacrifice instead of an executed criminal. And they think that because he was smiling. And I'm like, you know, everyone smiles when they're a human sacrifice. But my favorite part is they were able to look in his digestive tract, and they found a mixture of barley and flax inside of him.
Oh, God.
I always think it's incredible. Like Lady Di, when you can find...
Well, talk about brown liquid. That's what it produced.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, I love it. Well, where to next?
We'll see. Behind door number 2. Ooh.
Where the magic happens.
The magic happens.
The bedroom. I want to start at the vanity first, actually.
Okay.
Hit it.
Ooh.
This is the fabulous Princess of Shaohei. She's also known as Little River Princess, and she is just gorgeous. When I found this photo, I had to know more about her. So she was found in 2003 in a cemetery in Shaohei. This cemetery is known for being like an ancient mummy hotspot. They found a lot of good stuff there, but she was buried over 3,800 years ago, and she still looks this good. She stood just under 5 feet tall, and her hair still looked great. I mean, she still had fucking eyelashes. So great. But I want to talk about her burial outfit. So listen to this. She was buried wearing a white felt hat, a white wool cloak with tassels, a string skirt with fur-lined boots on her feet.
Boots with the fur.
Boots with the fur.
Love it.
But also, she had a wooden dick buried between her boobs for the afterlife.
Good for her.
There was also a bunch of cheese all over her neck. So dick and cheese, two of my favorite things, but not together.
Not together.
But she had no embalming done at all. Her coffin was tightly sealed, and where she was buried was in the desert, so it was very dry. Her coffin had cowhide placed over it. And so as cowhide ages, it dries out, and it shrunk down like shrink wrap around her coffin and perfectly preserved her.
I think she looks like Ariana Grande a little bit.
Yeah.
That,
I think she's beautiful.
she is. She's beautiful. That's enough of the vanity. We can move over to the bed.
Ooh.
Or what's under the bed.
Oh, okay.
So this is a wild story out of Mexico City. Basically, what happened is this couple checks into the Hotel Senador in Mexico City, and they're there for like a night or two, and they noticed there was a really foul smell in their room. And so on their first night there, they decided to tell the staff about it, and they're like, you know, something's not right in there. I think something's rotten. And the staff's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Well, after that couple checks out, they send in two like housekeepers into the bedroom. They lifted up the bed and they found the corpse of a 25-year-old woman under the bed. There it is. They got in a ton of trouble because there was all this scrutiny placed on them, and the hotel was like forced to admit to the press that several people had checked into that room and slept on top of the body.
God. Could you imagine?
Nope.
That's
Check under your bed.
terrible.
You never know.
Oh, God. Well, my next girl was on top of her bed.
A better place to be.
A better
Okay.
place to be. This is Eva Perón, and she is the beauty queen of Argentina. I don't have any living pictures of her, but she was incredibly beautiful. Her husband, Juan Perón, was president, and she was first lady from 1946 until her untimely passing in 1952. And unfortunately, cancer took her at 33 years old, but she did make history as being Argentina's first person to undergo chemotherapy. She has an amazing story. After her passing, Dr. Pedro Anna wanted to make sure that her looks were saved, okay? So he performed an embalming miracle on her. It took a whole year. He used glycerin instead of blood and water, and the preservation was so successful that they call it the art of death. She literally looked like she was asleep. She's so beautiful. You would not know
A year
that she
later,
was-
that's pretty incredible.
that she was dead, I know. So, Ava's preserved like a wax figure and kept in a glass casket in her former office for 2 years while her memorial was under construction. Unfortunately, during this time, her husband was overthrown from the government and he had to flee the country, leaving her body behind. A dictator then took over office, and then her body had to go on an unexpected adventure. Ava's body actually went missing for 16 years. She was finally found in Milan, Italy, with minor facial and foot glitches because she was stored upright like a mannequin in her crypt. In the 70s, though, her body made it back to her husband. But by this time, her husband was on to his third wife. And
That's
so,
the shocking part.
I know.
Oh, that's the biggest reaction so far. Oh my God, and he was
Oh my
married
God,
three
he was
times.
married again,
Would
I
you
know.
believe it?
Well, okay.
We
the
know
new-
what gets Florida going now,
I
I guess.
know.
Okay.
Exactly. The new wife and him were good to Ava. They decided to take her body in and display it in their dining room for a few years. It wasn't until 1974 that she was actually buried in a family crypt. And that's the story of her, the wild journey from first lady to dinner party guest to finally being buried.
What a life. What a post-mortem life.
I know.
I have kind of a it's kind of a love story. Oh my God. And that's it. Thank you so much,
Thank
Florida.
you.
You've been wonderful.
Okay, everybody close your eyes.
Yeah, everyone close your eyes. Come on.
Don't look.
Don't look. Watch them.
Don't look. Don't look.
Don't look.
Don't look.
Don't look. Don't.
Come on,
no,
heads down.
No looking. Not
Don't
yet.
look.
Oh.
Okay, there.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm scared to press it now.
Okay, press it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, okay.
Like nothing happened.
Woo!
This story is clearly haunted and not wants to be told. This right here, Exhibit A, this is Lee Van, and this is his wife, Pham Thi Song. And the two of them were destined for marriage from a very young age. They were not high school sweethearts. It was their parents' decision, an arranged marriage type of situation. As a young man, Lei had entered the military, and this was like right after they got married, so they never really got an opportunity to get to know each other. But finally, he came back, they got together, and they ended up having 7 children together.
Wow.
Which is a lot. So as a result, they had to live pretty frugally. Initially, financially, he was doing pretty okay. He was like a successful carpenter, but he developed a gambling addiction, and it ended up costing them a pretty penny. They had to sell their family home. And since he's a carpenter, he builds them like a much smaller home. But we're going to cut to 2003 because Lei is out of town. He's on a job doing construction, and he receives a phone call that Pham had passed away. He rushes back home, sees her for a few minutes, and then they end up burying her, even though he had asked them not to. He's like, I do not want her buried. And they were like, he's just grief-stricken. We're going to bury her. He allows them to do it. Throughout the next year, he took some extreme measures to get close to her, including sleeping on top of her grave at the cemetery.
That's normal.
And eventually he wanted to be more comfortable, so he dug a tunnel down into the grave so he could sleep with her down there. It gets worse. His children find out about this and they're like, put the fuck down.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? They tried to stop this from happening, but it really just pushed him to take things one step further. In 2004, he begins bringing clay and paper to the cemetery and building this statue-like figure of his wife. And once the statue was complete, he dressed it and threw a dummy mask over the face of it.
Oh.
And then puts his wife's remains inside of this basically human doll and brings it home, puts it in bed. And at first, his kids were probably really concerned at that point, but they were like, okay, you're sleeping with a dummy of mom, because they didn't know.
They didn't know the remains were in
No.
there. Okay.
But eventually they found out and they were like, that's fucking terrifying. And so they told him, like, you need to bury mom, but he's like, I can't do it. I need her with me. And I'm like, find me a love like that.
I know.
Just romantic. Well, soon friends and neighbors started to find out, and everyone's like, okay, this guy's sleeping with his dead wife in the bed. And everyone was trying to get him to bury her, and apparently he told some people he's like, yeah, I did. And then he just never did. And as of February of 2020, that's the most recent article I found, he still sleeps next to his wife to this day. They have their own little routine where he cleans her, does the statue's makeup, changes her clothes. He was quoted saying, when my wife was alive, she never wore a nice dress. So now I have to make many nice clothes for her. I change her clothes twice a day. People said I'm crazy because I take care of a corpse, but I strongly believe that she is always with me. I'll sleep with her until I die.
Oh my God.
It's kind of sweet.
Very
sweet. Everyone's like
sweet.
unsure of how to feel. Got some necrophiliacs clapping in the audience.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
Well, is anybody hungry?
Infamous segue.
I'm so good at segues. Is anybody hungry?
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Okay.
The kitchen.
The kitchen.
The kitchen. And okay, so I thought since we're starting in the kitchen, I'd bring us a picture of a kitchen.
Innovative. Love
Okay,
it.
but this kitchen isn't a real kitchen. It's a dollhouse kitchen with a little dead doll in the corner. This is just one of many dollhouse dioramas of murder scenes created by a woman named Frances Glessner Lee. Frances was an incredibly wealthy socialite from Chicago. Sorry, I don't know what to do with my feet with these big shoes, so I'm just putting them out in front of me. So Frances was a wealthy socialite from Chicago, and she was a true crime girly. I know. What is our line?
No, it got me. I don't know. Like, what are we doing? Okay, sorry.
She was a true crime girly to the core. And instead of throwing fancy parties, she hosted dinners for crime investigators. And in her discussions with cops, scholars, and scientists, she realized something really profound, that crime scene analysis could unveil the truth. The clues and evidence in a crime scene held the answers, but they had a really short shelf life. And without thorough study, the truth might just slip away. So she built the nutshell studies of unexplained death, which are tiny crime scenes with a twist, a dead body. And she built 20 of these, and 18 of them are still used to teach crime scene investigators today. And it is said that, okay, you know the show Murder, She Wrote and Angela Lansbury? I guess it's heavily based off of her.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Well, we're going to get sticky with my next guy here,
Oh.
who we did talk about on tour this year, if you came to any of our other shows. This is an example of a mellified mummy, aka honey mummies, which is one of my favorite things in the world. And I was like, we have to keep this on the show. So a mellified man or mellified mummy is the corpse of a man that has been steeped in honey and stored in it for 100 years. And the idea of it was that it would eventually go on to be used for medicinal purposes. So this was happening in China. A lot of men in their 80s, 90s would sign up to be mellified men. And it was this self-mummification process where, like I said, their bodies were stored in honey, but this process started before they died. They would, for up to a year before, go on a diet where they were only eating honey, they were only drinking honey, they would bathe themselves in honey, and their bodies would become so oversaturated with honey that they would even start to sweat honey, they would excrete only honey, just very sticky, very gross. Once they died from the oversaturation, they would be placed in this big like stone coffin, and that would be filled with even more honey. And then they would write on it like, "Open me in 100 years." After the 100 years passed, they would crack them open, and then they would break apart the body and sell it at local markets as like medicinal healing candy.
Oh, would you try it?
I would.
You would?
I would.
Okay.
Would you try it?
Of course I would. Well, you've got the honey. I want a cocktail. Want something stronger.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the sour toe cocktail. That is a real mummified toe. This guy came on tour with us too. We just love it. So the story goes, in the 1920s during the Prohibition, there were two brothers, Louis and Otto. They were rum runners, and on one of their trips, they got caught in a blizzard, and Louis's foot was soaked in cold water after he accidentally walked through a patch of ice. When they finally made it back to their cabin, Louis's foot was totally frozen, so Otto was like, "We gotta cut off your toe so that you don't get gangrene," and they did. They cut off his toe, they put it in a jar of alcohol, and it stayed in that cabin. And it wasn't found until the 1970s when a man named Captain Jack Stevens found it in that very same cabin, and he decided to name this cocktail the Sour Toe Cocktail, and he has a club called the Sour Toe Cocktail Club, and if you want to join it, you have to take a sip of this alcohol. And their little motto is, you can drink it fast, you can drink it slow, but your lips must touch that gnarly toe. And I would try it.
Okay.
And you can't.
I can't. Back to rehab for me. My next story I'm unsure of now. I'm a little nervous.
I'd be nervous too.
The frying pan, that's it. Let's keep going. Okay, so I have another show called Cult Leader, and it's, thank you. I'm going to tell you a story that is one of the worst stories that I've probably ever shared. So, really excited to tell it to you all this evening.
Get your barf bags ready.
Get them ready. Oh, I hate it. Okay, so this is also my most long-winded, so fucking bear with me here. In early 2001, this German computer technician named Armin Meiwes began looking for a willing participant to feed his ultimate desire. He posted a little blurb on a website called The Cannibal Cafe, which you can start imagining. And basically, he wanted to try out cannibalism. And one of the first responses he got was from a man who wanted to be picked up in a cattle truck and slaughtered like a pig. And so the guy took a train to meet Armin, and the two went to the house where Armin tied him up. And apparently the man was licking Armin's boots and he was living for it. He ties him up, is ready to slaughter him. But then the guy's like, actually, I don't think I want to do this. So they ended up just watching a movie and ordering a pizza, and they called it a night. The next man to respond was an Italian man who made such an insane request that even Armin was like, I don't know about that, because he wanted to have his testicles burnt with a fucking flamethrower.
Oh.
Uh-huh. And then he wanted to be hammered down to a table with nails and pins and whipped to death.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not here to kink shame. I'm like, I've eaten ass. Sorry, Dad. My dad's here tonight. But the second a flamethrower gets brought in, I'm fucking not doing that. In March of 2001, Armin sees an ad posted by somebody else on the Cannibal website, and it's from this guy, and his headline is, Your Dinner. It was this man named Bernd Jorgen Brandes, and they ended up meeting up on March 9th. Bernd took the train to meet Armin, and he's like, I was so excited, nervous. It's kind of like meeting a date for the first time. They hang out for a while, filming the entire process. Bernd gets straight to the point. He undresses, they go upstairs, they have sex, and then Bernd leaves. They don't end up going through with any of the cannibalism. He, I guess, just got nervous and backed out. Well, they rediscuss this on the phone. Bernd comes back to visit Armin again. They go to a pharmacy and get some sleeping pills and cough syrup before returning to the house to kind of get him loosened up, I guess. And then they go to this room in Armin's house, which they call the slaughter room, because all that's in there is a bench, a table, and a hook hanging from the ceiling. It's not going to get better. Bernd asks Armin to cut off his penis. So he puts his penis onto the table. Armin takes a knife to it, and he's like, please, cut it off. And it's all on film. Armin attempts to cut the penis, but the knife is too dull. So he goes downstairs, gets another one from the kitchen. This knife works. Apparently, Bernd yelled for about 20 to 30 seconds. He's like, I gotta sit down, which, of course. But Bernd loved watching the blood squirt out of his body. Oh. He was obsessed with it. He's like, it doesn't even hurt anymore. And then he asked Armin to cut it in half so that they could eat it together.
Oh.
Armin cuts the penis in half, takes both parts down to the kitchen, and prepares it with salt, pepper, and garlic. But because the flesh was too fresh, when they threw it into the frying pan, it just shriveled up really fast. It was really chewy, and it was not edible. They couldn't eat it. So all that for fucking what? Armin puts Brands in a bathtub because he's just fucking
party hat.
Yeah, sorry. So uncouth. So this dude's fucking bleeding out in the bathtub. He eventually passes out, and around 2 a.m., Armin hears him kind of roaming about upstairs. They go into the bedroom together. Bernd collapses by the bed because he can't keep consciousness. Armin prays over him and then proceeds to cut his throat. But Armin didn't like this. He's like, I wanted to eat someone, but I did not want to kill them. Oh. But too late at this point. He decapitates him, hangs him from the ceiling, and removes his organs and cuts him in half. He proceeds to wash the body parts and put them in a freezer under a false bottom, and he would regularly feast on this for the next several months.
Oh.
He said the first bite was strange, but it tasted a lot like pork, the more you know. He decides he wants to do this again, so he tries to meet up with another victim, well, kind of like a willing victim, I guess. This person, I think, was just kind of fucking around on this website. Oh. I don't think he was actually super into this. And so he tells the police, like, I think this guy's really fucking eating people. So the police come to his house. Armin calls his lawyer, like, you're never going to guess what's happened. Like, I ate someone, but I don't know what's happened. He gets arrested. It goes to trial, but at his first trial, he was charged with manslaughter and given 8.5 years because cannibalism, I guess at the time, was not illegal in Germany because it hadn't really come up. And they had like video of this guy like asking him to do it too. So people were really conflicted about this, but prosecutors appealed the court's decision and they did a retrial where they showed the jury all the footage. And I guess they all needed fucking therapy after that. And he ended up being sentenced to life in prison on May 10th, 2006, where he remains today.
Wow. Oh, well, I think I've finally lost my appetite.
Okay.
Can we move on?
Let's move on.
Please get the fuck out of here.
Oh. What's down there?
What is down there?
We couldn't think of a name for this one.
Yeah.
I remember us just like, we'll just put what's down there. Okay.
My appetite is back. This is Diogo Alves, and he was a Portuguese serial killer and robber, and his nickname was the Aqueduct Killer because most of his crimes took place on this one aqueduct. From 1836 to 1840, he killed 70 people. He would do this by robbing random people who were walking across the aqueduct and then throwing them over, and it was like a 213-foot drop, so it looked like a suicide. Because there were so many deaths, police looked into it and they ruled them suicides, and so they closed the aqueduct down. Well, the murders stopped, or the suicides stopped, but a surge of break-ins occurred within private residences, and this was because Diogo organized a gang of lethal robbers targeting city residents. Diogo's gang was finally caught when they were inside the home of a local doctor, and they had murdered 4 of the family members in there. A jury sentenced him and his gang to death by hanging, and he was one of the last criminals that was hung in Portugal. But doctors at the time wanted his head because phrenology was like taking off, and we all know about phrenology. You've talked about it on this show. But they wanted to study his head, and so they took it from his body, put it into a clear jar of formaldehyde, where it still sits today at the University of Lisbon, and it looks just like that.
He looks
perfectly preserved.
Speaking of head. Okay. I have this guy. This is an example of the earliest European autopsy, and this guy's been fucking through it. So
Terrible.
he was discovered in 2013. Well, part of him anyways, that upper portion there. And scientists believe he died between 1200 and 1280 AD. But most surprisingly, they noticed it appeared an autopsy had been performed on the corpse. Seeing as his brain had been, what they say, carefully removed, when I'm like, it's like they fucking yanked that sucker out of there.
Yeah.
I don't know. But because they had removed his brain, they believed that they were investigating his death, and that's why he's referred to as the earliest human autopsy.
Okay. Well, let's keep the heads rolling.
Okay.
And let's talk about this little lady here.
Who we got?
Oh, okay. I kept seeing this photo on the internet, and every time I looked into it, it said that it was a possessed nun. Unfortunately, she was not possessed, but she was a nun. The mummy head is Maria Rosenthal, but first we have to talk about her mom, Josephine, a little bit. Josephine was a nun in Germany in the 1700s, and in 1742, Josephine became pregnant with Maria. But Josephine had been raised in the nunnery and was still a virgin. And she went through numerous checkups.
I know.
I know.
It.
But she went through numerous checkups, and they all determined that she was a virgin and that she just had an immaculate conception. So Maria...
We'll go with it.
We'll go with it. I mean, it was incredible. They could not prove that she wasn't a virgin. And the pregnancy went very flawlessly. But when Maria came out, Josephine ended up dying she lost a lot of blood. She died. So starts to be raised by the nuns. at 33 dies, but they find out that she's actually pregnant herself, and it was an immaculate conception.
Wow.
And so the whole church and the monastery, they just thought that she was so godly, and they ended up saving some of her remains. And in 1905, they peeked at this box that supposedly had like some of her stuff in it. It was her head.
Devote your life, and you too can look like this one day. Well, my next guy is really triggering for us. This is a man known as the French tickler. You ever have one of those? I don't know. A famous clown during the 1900s, and when he was alive, his name was Achille Chatelou, and he passed away in 1912, and one of his last wishes was to be displayed wearing his favorite costume. To be specific, he wished to be embalmed wearing his Shriner's Parade costume.
Oh.
Just that right there. Fortunately, Carl Crew of the California Institute of Abnormal Arts made this wish come true. So he was embalmed with a mixture of arsenic and mercury, because you shouldn't fucking do that. His body is now sealed in a coffin with a glass top. We learned visitors were able to go view his body at the Institute, but they closed their doors last year. So we're wondering, we're like, where
is
it
he?
now? We don't know, but we're keeping an eye out. We'd like to
Man.
purchase him.
I'd love to
Go on eBay or something.
purchase him or at least get to visit him.
Yeah.
Well, let's get out of here.
Let's get out. Oh.
Oh, you know we love obituaries
We
here.
do.
Well, it turns out a tombstone can reveal just as much as an obituary sometimes. Okay, this headstone actually belongs to a man named Elijah Jefferson Bond, and he's the man who invented and patented the Ouija board that we all know and love today.
I don't have a story for this one, but it says, if you can read this, you're standing on my boobs. And I liked that.
Well, Spencer, this one would be yours, I think.
Yes, the hypochondriac. I told you, I was like, this would be yours.
I'm asleep. What do we have next? Okay.
Oh, I
okay.
love
This
this
one
one.
is so sweet. So in 1842, a Dutch man married a Catholic woman, sparking controversy due to their differing faiths. They defied societal norms, however, and they stayed married until his death in 1880. But in death, religious segregation prevailed, and he was buried in a Protestant cemetery. 8 years later, when the wife passed, she couldn't join him due to religious separation. So her grave features 2 tombstones in different religious sections with hands reaching across the divide.
Beautiful.
Isn't that sweet?
So sweet.
I love that.
Just like this. So, this is Katerina Perez on the right. Speaking of one true love, this is her next to the 5.5-foot dick that she requested on her grave. Her family erected the monument in recognition of her love and joy for life. She wanted to break the paradigm of everything Mexican, where things are sometimes hidden because of not having an open mind, according to her grandson. She was always very avant-garde, very forward-thinking about things. Katerina died at the age of 99 on January 20th, 2021, and she was apparently known in her small town of Pasantla for her fascination with penises.
It's the best medicine.
Uh-huh.
Good dick.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, I see your statue,
Uh-huh.
and I raise you a vagina on a headstone.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God, kill me.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
there we go.
So
Right
if you
there.
can't tell, there's a little imprint of a vagina there. So let me explain this one. So we have a man named Malin Marinkovic, and he is 75 years old, and he's a widower. He lost his beloved wife. She passed away. He was absolutely devastated, and he didn't know what to do. Fortunately for him, she left strict instructions for everything, including her headstone. She asked that a carving of her vagina be placed on her headstone so that when he would come to visit, he would look at it and to make sure that he would never look at another woman. Well, Malin was like, okay, I guess I'll do this for you. He searched for 2 years to find a sculptor that would even do it because they all thought it was blasphemous to put genitals on a headstone.
Come on.
But he finally found a stonemason to pull it off, and his wife left him a ton of graphic photos so that her vagina would be incredibly accurate. And that's exactly what he did. So how's that for a grave symbol?
Beautiful. I love it. Why not?
I know.
So typically you see RIP, you think rest in peace, but it's obituary, so we like it as rot in peace.
Rot in peace.
And we thought because it's Halloween, well, almost Halloween anyway, this is our Halloween show, we would do some witchy obituaries today. And one of mine I read, I feel like on a really early episode for Holly Blair, and we love her. This is her real obituary. It says, Holly Blair exploded into glitter and bats on August 17th of 2020. She survived by 4 spoiled cats, 2 stinky dogs, 3 bad birds, a turtle, and an utterly useless frog named Fred, as well as 3 children and a husband of no importance. Her remains will be interred under a tree with the ridiculous multitude of animals she rescued, both wild and domestic. Her future plans include drinking beer with Terry Pratchett and flying across the moon on her broomstick on Halloween. She has always promised to communicate with us from beyond via a cockatiel. We ask that everyone carve extra jack-o'-lanterns on Halloween this year in her honor. All hail the Wicked Witch of Juniper Road. And then it just has like the arrangements info, but we love her. We love
that
Holly
one's
Blair.
sweet.
It is.
Mine's not.
I'm like going to click. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. This is in memory of Pamela. It is with a curious blend of horror and relief that we announce the demise of the notorious Pamela, an evil ghoul of unparalleled malevolence. Born in the depths of darkness, Pamela terrorized the mortal realm for centuries before meeting her untimely end. Pamela's hobbies included haunting dreams, stealing joy, and collecting the souls of the unsuspecting. She had an uncanny talent for turning celebrations into chilling affairs and could summon a swarm of bats faster than you could say boo. Her cackle was a symphony of terror, and her mere presence could send shivers down the bravest spines. Despite her fearsome reputation, Pamela met her doom when she underestimated the power of a particularly bright full moon. Witnesses say she melted into the shadows, leaving nothing but the scent of sulfur and a faint echo of sinister laughter.
That's also what you typically leave in a room.
Yeah. In lieu of flowers, Pamela's family requests that you check under your bed tonight, just to be sure.
Love that one. Rest in peace, girl. Rot in peace, girl.
Rot in peace. Oh, man.
Well, Madison, we've
Well,
technically spun in our coffins.
We've technically bitched our obituaries.
We sure have, so that must mean it's time for some dumb
ass
criminals. The right place. Well, you know, we would never talk about Florida on our Dumbass Criminal segment. Never have.
Never
would.
Nothing happens here.
Nothing ever happens in Florida. And that's why
No.
That's why we absolutely refused this evening. We said, we're not doing Florida.
No.
Florida's
my
been
God.
so kind to us. We just
So kind.
don't.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Oh my God. Oh my
no.
God. No, we would
Okay.
never talk about
Hold
Florida.
on. No.
Never ever.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Well, good. So mine's pretty lame compared to those. Some of those headlines, but my dumb criminal is from California, and he's in a costume, so I had to do this one. So no, that is not the real Gumby, just shopping at 7-Eleven. That is a man dressed as Gumby trying to rob a 7-Eleven. The story goes, one September night in 2011 in San Diego, California, this man enters 7-Eleven in his Gumby costume. The costumed bandit starts to demand cigarettes and cash from the store clerk. He then tried to pull a gun from his little green body, and the clerk just fucking stood there and laughed at him. He thought it was a joke. Well, this made Gumby super flustered, and he dropped 27 cents and ran out. The clerk didn't even report it until his manager saw the surveillance video. And so then the manager reported it, and Gumby ended up going to the police station a few days later to turn himself in for the attempted robbery. It ended up being 19-year-old Jacob Kiss.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love that.
Dumbass.
Love this guy here. He's definitely a dumbass criminal, but also, I would say, a creative genius. This is 50-year-old Itis J, and he was dining at a restaurant in Spain, treating himself to a delicious meal, some drinks, several entrees, and then he attempted to walk out without paying. Oh. When he was confronted by the staff, they were like, yo, you gotta pay for your food. He fell to the ground and claimed that he was having a heart attack, which he absolutely was not. They called the cops. It turns out this was not the first time he'd done this. It was not the second time, not the third time. He had frauded 22 restaurants out of paying for his meal by pretending to have a heart attack. We have a picture there. He has since been arrested and served 42 days in jail and must pay back each of the dining establishments.
Oh my.
I read someone commented on an article about him, and they were like, he has the opportunity to do the funniest thing at his trial.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like,
Fake
oh,
a heart
God.
attack. Yeah.
It's real this time.
Oh my
it's
God.
real. Oh, God.
Oh, you know, Spencer and I were talking, and we read everybody else's obituaries on the show, and so we thought that tonight we would read each other's obituaries. I'm going to go first.
Okay.
So if you can just get into position.
Just slide on down.
Okay.
Love it.
Well, it finally happened. Spencer Henry has gone out in a fiery blaze, at least according to the cremator. The self-described dumb bitch with a microphone bid the world adieu on Sunday evening, not wanting to endure another Monday. Spencer enjoyed a final meal of In-N-Out Burger before attending his Sunday evening spin class when tragedy struck. According to witnesses, his stationary bike broke loose, and he drove straight through the wall, expiring shortly thereafter.
No. Why are you laughing? This is the biggest tragedy to hit Hollywood since, I don't know.
A lifelong lover of the macabre, it only makes sense that funeral attendees are asked to dress in their finest black attire. Veils are a must. While he never married, he has survived.
Just call me a faggot. I know you want to say it.
I'm thinking it. He is survived by Hot Dog, his 7-pound chihuahua, to whom he left his entire fortune. She will live out her days between his 1920s Spanish home, nicknamed Betty Bungalow, number 2, and the Parker Hotel in Palm Springs. Spencer made a career out of talking, so there's not much we can say that he hasn't already. But he'd like his friends and family to know how much he loved them. And to those who annoyed him in his life, he'll see you in hell.
Yes.
His exclusive funeral will be held at the Sir Francis Drake Hotel in San Francisco, California, and is sure to be a memorable event. The family is seeking moirologists for theatrics. Prior to cremation, there was a brief viewing for close family members so they could have one final chance to admire the thousands of dollars he spent on Botox and Juvederm.
Rest in peace, me.
Rest in peace.
You're up. Madison Moore Reyes, age, well, a lady never tells. How dare you ask? She's 34 now?
33.
33,
bitch.
okay.
Don't say that out loud.
Of Los Angeles, California, finally gained her horns on Friday afternoon. She leaves behind her husband, Francisco, who is devastated but also relieved he won't be yelled at any longer, and her two poodles, Desi and Doris Reyes. She also leaves behind her parents, siblings, nieces, nephews, and friends, all four of them, as well as a slew of hair extensions.
Okay.
Madison built her career on reading obituaries, but she also knew how much they cost, so we'll keep it brief. Her latest diet craze inspired her to attempt to squeeze into her wedding dress. When she couldn't pull it up past her calves, she gave it one last tug, thus becoming entangled in the tool. She fucking wrote this. I need you to know that before anyone goes, oh, he's fat shaming her. Go fuck yourself. She wrote it. She was found 3 days later, and according to one witness, it looked like half of a butterfly coming out of a cocoon. But bigger. Tragically, her poodles ate part of her face during the ordeal, but the other part's still beautiful.
Oh.
Services will be held at a later date because although she knew all about eco-friendly burials, she didn't want one. She has requested an extreme embalming using every chemical and substance known to make her look as fresh and young as possible. When a date is set, we hope you attend in your most glamorous attire, because if you look like a slob, you'll get turned away at the door. In her will, she left behind strict instructions to be buried in a 20 by 20 foot plot in a baby pink 1957 Chevy Bel Air convertible. Because she never acquired that vehicle in her lifetime, her husband will be providing their 2017 Sprinter van as an alternate. Oh my God.
Oh
Rest
my
in peace,
God.
girlie.
Well, thank you guys so much
Thank you for coming and hanging out with us for the evening. That's all you're getting from us. Unless you purchase VIP, but the rest of you cheapskates, it's time for you to get the fuck
time for
out of
you
here.
to
Okay, but that's it. Really, though. Thank you, Florida.
Happy Halloween!